It may come as no surprise that I'm a fan of luxury cars, but something I'm also a huge fan of is luxury cars surrounded by explosions. Luxury cars leaping over moving trains and landing on the other side while action music swells. Luxury cars skydiving out of planes thousands of feet up in the air, and the king of all cool stunts. Luxury cars bursting out of the glass of a skyscraper and clearing a 1,000-foot-tall gap to land in yet another skyscraper. When I saw that move in Furious 7, I was practically drooling over the car that performed the stunt. I mean, who wouldn't want something that looks this cool? That's precisely why today, we're going to take a look at the car behind this stunt. One of the most rare and expensive cars on Earth. The Lykan Hypersport, which is valued at $3.4 million. As I mentioned, the Lykan Hypersport made an appearance in Furious 7, but contrary to popular belief, it wasn't created for the movie. Only 7 real Lykan Hypersports have been made in the world since the first car was unveiled in 2013. So how did they pull off all those stunts with such a rare car? Well, they used fake ones. W Motors, the company behind the creation of the Lykan Hypersport, produced 10 production models for the shoot, only one of which survived without being destroyed. Because when you're having cars leap through not 1, not 2, but 3 skyscrapers, you're bound to do a little damage. The production models were made using the same molds as the real Lykans, but were created using cheaper materials. Instead of a carbon fiber body, the Fast and Furious Lykans were made of fiberglass. Surely not as luxurious, but it looks just as incredible on camera. It may seem like W Motors was put on the map because of the Fast and Furious franchise, but that's not entirely true. W Motors was founded in Lebanon in 2012 by an entrepreneur and car designer, Ralph R. DeBoss. W Motors was the first luxury car designer in the Middle East, and frankly, I'm shocked it took so long for that to happen. Dubai especially is known for being a city full of luxury cars, even if some of them are wasting away in junkyards. And when W Motors came onto the scene, they didn't do it subtly. They set up their headquarters in Dubai and got to work designing hypercars. And what exactly is a hypercar, you might be asking? Well, there are sports cars, which are fairly popular amongst those with an average or just above average income. Then there are supercars. These are cars with a lot more speed, power, and luxury features. Some of the likes include Aston Martins, Porsches, and certain Ferraris. And then, above that, there are hypercars. Many people argue over when a car becomes a hypercar, but it is largely determined by the speed and power behind that speed. The Ferrari LaFerrari is a hypercar with a top speed of 218 miles an hour and the ability to zip from 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. So with a top speed of 245 miles an hour, I'm sure the Lykan most definitely fits the bill. From the moment the Lykan was unveiled at the Qatar Motor Show, the car has been met with interest and wonder, and it's easy to see why. In my opinion, the Lykan is a feat of engineering and a beast in its class, which is almost exactly where the name comes from. W Motors references that Lykans are the strongest, rarest, and most commanding wolves in mythical legends. They further connect the car to the mythical creature by pointing out the Lykans can transform at any time to show their power. And if anything, the Lykan definitely shows power. Just underneath the sleek exterior of the car, you'll find a mid-rear mounted twin turbocharged engine pushing 780 horsepower at 7,100 rotations per minute. And you can imagine, with specs like that, this car has no problem with its get up and go. It can go from 0 to 62 miles an hour in a speedy 2.9 seconds, and 0 to 125 in just 9.6 seconds. So if you need a car to drag race in, this wouldn't be a bad choice. The car is manual with rear-wheel drive and gets 9.9 miles per gallon in an urban setting, so I wouldn't exactly want to take this car on a road trip into the mountains. But now it's time to look at the fun stuff. Many have said this car looks like an expensive gaming mouse, and they're not entirely wrong. The car is angular with a handcrafted carbon fiber body that is shaped into design that is completely unique on the market. One of my favorite features of the car is the strategically placed black panel behind the doors. The strip accentuates the size of the back of the car, making it look larger, and aside from being a fan of a little junk in the trunk, I like that design for one other reason. The panel was placed there so that the car would resemble a wolf rising up on its haunches, about to pounce. It creates a line of movement that prevents the car from looking static, even when it's not in motion, from the back. This additional panel has a unique wrap effect, making it look as though there is a car within the car. The hypercar utilizes reverse dihedral doors, which accentuate the slick lines of design, allowing it to look even more angular. The wheels of the car have V-shaped rims, and that isn't the only place the V-shape is featured. You can find a V-shaped air blade, V-shaped taillights, V-shaped headlights, and a V-shaped skylight on the exterior of the car. But why is that exactly? In Arabic, the V shape represents the number 7. This was picked to represent the 7 continents, the 7 Emirates, and the 7 hypersports that were produced. Of course, the V isn't the only Arabic writing that can be found on the car. On the roof of the car, there is a silver panel that details the production number of the car and the delivery date to client. And to someone who doesn't know Arabic, the panel will look like a unique insignia. This was the intention of the car's designer, Ralph DeBoss. He believed Arabic is one of the most artistic, beautiful-looking forms of writing, and I have to agree with him there. The front headlights feature something that can't be found in the headlights of any other car: diamonds. The white gold LED lights are diamond-encrusted with 440 sparkling gemstones. Buyers had the option of picking between diamonds, rubies, sapphires, and emeralds, but there's no real word on what the lucky buyers ever decided on. One rather unique feature on the exterior of the car is the shape of the windshield, which has sharp angles on the outer edges. The sharp angles mirror the angles of the spoiler on the back of the car, allowing that design to flow through the entire vehicle. Now, it's time to take a look at the inside of the car, and my, is it a beauty. The interior features gold stitching throughout, a choice that Ralph DeBoss was set on from the get-go. And though the whole interior looks like a work of art, there is one specific feature that has had people talking since 2013. The world's first and only holographic control panel. We're not quite living in the Jetsons like I hoped we would be by now, but this panel brings us one step closer to that dream. When the car is off, the control panel is nothing but a black box that you can actually stick your hand inside. But when the car turns on, the box is illuminated with the holographic controls. You simply put your finger in the box and swipe to pick music, control the air conditioning, and handle all your media options. Aside from this looking cool, there's one other huge bonus I can think of. You'll never have to wipe greasy fingerprints off the buttons again. The Lykan is in high demand due to its fame from the Fast and Furious franchise, its exclusivity, and its power. Since its release, W Motors has been fast at work on other luxury cars, such as the Fenya Supersport, which we might talk about in another video. But that's all I have for you today. The Lykan Hypersport, the most expensive car to ever be featured in the Fast and Furious, and one of the most expensive cars on the road. What do you think of this bad boy? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Oh, and maybe turn on post notifications. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm late for my afternoon drive. Pip pip to doodly doo.